You are listening to 389 Country Internet Radio. The views and opinions expressed on the Morning Buzz are not necessarily those of 389 Country advertisers, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, or Google Podcasts.
But they should be.
This is the Morning Buzz.
Good morning, Buzzers. Yo, buddy Trav on the radio. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Morning Buzz here on 389 Country. Happy Tuesday to you. It's 2 for Tuesday. We'll be looking at double shots from your favorite country music artist. Hope your Monday was great, but I hope your Tuesday is even better. And I plan on helping you through that. With a little chaotic news from around the world, political chaos, and, of course, country music. But we can't do anything until we officially start your day.
Wakey, wakey, rise and shine.
Take a deep breath and relax. It's all going to be fine.
Wakey, 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 wakey.
Today is Tuesday, as I have already said. It is November the 7th, 2023, the year of our Lord. Have you missed me saying that? I don't know why. I've just been forgetting to. It is International Merlot Day. If you don't know, don't worry about it. It's also National Retinol Day. Again, if you don't know, don't ask about it. Don't worry about it. International Day of Medical Physics. Yep, I'll probably pass on that one. It's National Canine Lymphoma Awareness Day. Make sure Poochie is healthy. And National Bittersweet Chocolate with Almonds Day. Now that I could get down with. I wonder if I could find some on the old snack aisle. I may have to check later. And on this day in history, we're going political. We've got quite a few today. Back in 1944, yesterday we talked about this man's election for the third time. Now it even grows more. Franklin D. Roosevelt defeated Thomas E. Dewey and was elected to an unprecedented fourth term as president of these here United States. Man, what was going on back then? In 1962, after losing the governor's election in California, American politician Richard Nixon gave what he called his last press conference, telling reporters that you won't have Nixon to kick around anymore. He was elected president 6 years later. And a little more recent time. On this day in 2000, U.S. presidential election ended in a statistical tie between Democrat Al Gore and Republican George W. Bush, only to be settled on December 12th by the U.S. Supreme Court after a bitter legal squabble. Now, if you're not old enough to remember, most of us remember, you had hanging chads, pregnant chads. People were literally looking at voting, cards, and trying to figure out how the person meant to vote. Good times, good times. You know, that was back before everybody argued over election. Oh, wait, maybe not. Anyway, let's move on. It's time for weather, brought to you by North Georgia Sign and Apparel.
I used to get wet. I used to sweat. I used to get caught outside in the rain and snow. But now I'm warm and dry. Please don't fall on me from the sky. 'Cause I get my weather from the radio.
And we begin weather with an alert. We do have an air quality alert today through midnight tonight. The North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality has issued a code red health advisory for the southwest North Carolina area for locations below 4,000 feet. And a code red air quality alert for particulate matter means ground level particulate matter concentrations within the region may approach or exceed unhealthy standards. Again, this from the smoke from the wildfire. Just if you have any kind of breathing issues, just be aware that that might cause a problem for you today. Yesterday, we had times where it seemed like the smoke was a little thicker, and then times where you really couldn't tell it. It all depends on the way the wind blows. Speaking of weather, how about we take a look at your weather forecast? That's why you're tuned into this part, right? For today, some clouds this morning will give way to generally sunny skies for the afternoon. Near record high temperatures, expect highs around 76. winds light and variable. At least it's not windy for those fighting the fire. Tonight, clear skies, low of 43, winds light and variable. For your Wednesday, another hot one, mainly sunny, near record high temps, high of 78. We're approaching 80. Here it is in November. Global warming, I told you. Mainly clear tonight with a few clouds later on, 49 for your low, and taking a peek at Thursday because that's what we do. Mostly cloudy skies, high near 75. And that is a look at weather brought to you by North Georgia Sign and Apparel. And with that, dear friends, we have officially started your day.
Hey y'all, it's Elise from Rusty Walsh Chevrolet. It's football time and you know that's the best time to buy a car.
Whether it's a new truck, car, SUV, or certified pre-owned, we've got what you're looking for.
And all new vehicles come with our exclusive 7-year, 200,000-mile warranty.
Also, choose from Fords, Hondas, Toyotas, Nissans, Chevrolets, and more. Find new roads to RustyWallaceChevrolet.com.
Where Chevys cost less.
This is the Morning Buzz.
Time now for the 411 for the 389 news from overnight. The Israeli military said its forces had completed encircling Gaza City yesterday after an overnight barrage of airstrikes, cutting off the populous city center from the rest of the Gaza Strip and effectively dividing the enclave into north and south regions. This development comes ahead of Israel's imminent ground incursion as around 240 hostages remain in Hamas's captivity. Israel believes much of Hamas's infrastructure is located in the north. Changing gears, coming back to home here, former President Donald Trump testified yesterday for nearly 4 hours in a $250 million civil fraud trial against him and his co-defendants. The presiding judge previously ruled the Trump Organization overvalued its real estate assets and will now determine potential penalties. Yeah, because his place in Florida was worth only $18 million. Sure. And from the medical world, the mobility of a man with advanced Parkinson's disease has been restored using an electrical implant placed in his lower spine, according to a study published yesterday. Experts caution the technology is successful and expanded clinical trials would not be commercially available for 5 to 10 years. Still, though, if we can reverse the effects of Parkinson, bravo. Also, it's election day, but not in Clay County. We have nothing today, so you're good. And that is a look at 411 for the 389. Well, I hope your Tuesday morning is going swimmingly. And maybe I'm helping that just a little bit. Because I know at this point today, you're probably getting ready to head to the office. Maybe the job site, to a store perhaps. Heck, maybe even a school. But at some point today, dear friends, you're going to find yourself in the presence of those who make it abundantly clear to you that they need to be educated on the ways of this world. And when that moment happens, I want you to look them dead in the eye and say, losers, I bet I'm smarter than you, and I can prove it. And then hit them with this. Did you know polar bears could eat as many as 10 penguins in a single sitting? It's true. It's true. Well, Trav, that's a hard way to start the day. Truth hurts, buddy. If they didn't live at opposite ends of the earth. You didn't know that, did you? Polar bears live in the Arctic, whereas most common penguins, such as Adelie, I think Adelie sings, right? Or cuts meat. Or emperor penguins, they all live in the South Pole. So, it's not going to happen. But if they did, polar bears could eat as many as 10. It would be like a McNugget meal for them. And then after you have left them wowed, nay, slack-jawed with your superior knowledge, I want you to hit them with the old 1-2 punch. Look at them again and say, not only am I smarter than you losers, I'm funnier too, and I can prove it. Then drop this little nugget on them. A husband and a wife had a big argument. Frustrated and fed up, the wife called her mom and said, we fought again. I can't do this anymore. I'm coming to live with you. To which the mom said, no, darling. He must pay for his mistakes. I'm coming to live with you. It's time to take a look at sports, and today we start with college basketball. Coming off an 18-win season that saw the Catamounts make just the fourth postseason appearance in the program's NCAA Division I era, Western Carolina men's basketball opens year 3 under Coach Justin Gray tonight, hosting Dalton State in a non-conference game at the Ingalls Court in the Ramsey Center. Tip-off for the season opening home game is scheduled for 7 p.m. Tonight's game will be broadcast on ESPN Plus, or you can catch the audio at catamountsports.com. Nothing really to report from the home front over at Hayesville High School. I know Hayesville Middle School got their basketball season started yesterday, but for the high school, it's still practice time before we play a little round ball. Football, practicing, getting ready for their round 2 game against East Randolph coming up on Friday night. But for the most part, we're in between seasons right now. This is that time where football is bleeding over into basketball, and everybody's fine with it because that means we are in the playoffs. So there you go. That's a look at sports, brought to you as always by our friends at the Clay County Recreation Center.
Looking for a way to become more active? Check out the Clay County Recreation Center. From walking and biking trails to a workout room to a state-of-the-art pickleball court, the rec center has something for all levels of physical activity. They even have an airfield for RC pilots. And don't forget about all the sports leagues for the kids. Visit the center at 333 Ballpark Drive in Hayesville or call 828-389-0368.
This is the Morning Buzz.
Time now for Bozo News of the Day. Today is a whole gang of idiots. We go to California, Covina, California, to be exact, where these bozos came up with a simple plan to make some quick cash. You see, they figured they would go door to door claiming to be members of the local high school football team and asking for donations. Good idea, right? Well, yeah, great idea until they rang the doorbell of the high school football coach. He asked them to name the football coach, and of course they couldn't. They were busted. Birds of a feather flock together, and idiots run in a wad.
Well, let's talk a little business. Let's talk some business. It's been a while since your buddy Trav has taken a day off. And you may be thinking, we had Saturday and Sunday. No. It was not. But anyway, I digress. This Friday is, we're going to celebrate Veterans Day. Veterans Day is Saturday, and we're doing so. I'm actually going to be here for the first hour of the Morning Buzz, but then I am turning over the microphone to Riley Green. Yes, that Riley Green. I wish Grandpa's never died. He can sing. I can't. That's why I talk. And some of you say, well, you can't even talk. But anyway, Riley Green will be hosting his Salute to Veterans this Friday from 8 to 10 here on the Morning Buzz. And then we're going to rerun it on Saturday as well. So I'll be here, but not as long. So I get the majority of the day off. So just wanted to let you know, a little programming note. Also, while we're into it, weekends are going to be changing up here pretty soon. The shows that we've been running, we're going to try to do more in-house things. I've already notified all of the hosts for the other shows and the promoters and all that, and they understand, and we appreciate everybody that has been with us since the beginning on weekends. But again, we're going to try to do more in-house production stuff and keep it all the 389 country feel. So that'll be swapping over in December. So if you like those shows, you've still got a month to tune in on Saturdays and Sundays. Now, on Sundays, John MacArthur and Red Oak Church, they will be staying. They're not going anywhere. So don't worry if you're like, well, I'm losing my church. That's not going to happen. It's just the music side of things we're going to keep in-house. So just letting you know what's going on, and it's all because of growth and all because of your support. And we can't thank you enough for telling people about us and for helping us grow over the last year and a half. Looking forward to continuing to grow with you. But I've said enough. Let's jump back into the music now. Well, that's going to do it for hour number 1, but don't you fret. We've still got 2 full hours to go. Coming up in hour number 2, we'll take a look at political chaos and continue with double shots from your favorite country music artist. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back in 3 minutes. Text a friend. Tell them to tune in to 389 Country. The Yellow Jackets know a good game plan is the key to success. That also applies to Graves Directional Drilling. Graves Directional Drilling's planning for your project includes site evaluation, project development, design development, site logistics, safety programs, quality control, and materials. So whether you need trenching or directional drilling done on your site, you can be confident in Graves Directional Drilling's plan for your victory. Give Stephen a call at 706-897-0374.
You are listening to 389 Country Internet Radio.
This is the Morning Buzz.
Welcome back, Buzzers. Your buddy Trav here for hour number 2 of the Morning Buzz on 2 for Tuesday. Coming up this hour, we've got political news from around the world, including, we're going to talk about the old Trumpster, but there's a whole lot more to talk about, as you can imagine. And we easy. I went French. We will continue serving you double shots of your favorite country music artists because it is 2 for Tuesday. But as we do every day in hour 2, we begin with the 389 Country Gospel Spotlight because, we need to talk to Jesus before we talk politics. Dialing up some political chaos. Now, look, I know it's hard to believe that the Russia-Ukraine war is still going on if you just watch mainstream media. It was sort of media flash in the pan for a bit, and everyone got behind Zelensky, and then they forgot about him. But Joe Biden did not forget about him. Oh, no, not Joe. The U.S. announced $425 million Ukraine aid package. Yep, this is another one. The Biden administration announced $425 million package Friday for Ukraine, planning to deliver to Kiev a shipment of artillery rounds, small arms ammunition, air defense munitions, and cold weather gear ahead of winter. $425 million worth of that stuff. That's a lot of money. I don't have to tell you anything. So let's break it down into things that, we may be on the market for, in the market, not on the market. We're not being sold. With that money, you could buy 85 million boxes of Little Debbie Nutty Buddies from Walmart. That might last you a month. And don't argue with me. Those things are delicious. About 830 average homes in the United States. 858,585 signed copies of the first 3 books of the Twilight, if you're into that thing. You could buy the most expensive home in the country with some left over. I mean, $295 million is all that the house costs. You still have money left for Little Debbie cakes. But it's all going to Ukraine. And then they talk about funding for the border. We don't have it. Funding for our veterans who are homeless. Veterans Day coming up, and we go out. Good luck to them. We need to put them in these mass facilities. Kids going to bed hungry, and we're sending. Look, this ain't a one-time thing. This is on top of all the other 400. What was it? 465. 425. I apologize. I oversold it. $425 million to Ukraine. What's the end game here? Can anybody tell me at what point are we going to look at this war with Ukraine and Russia and say, okay, and we're done? Is it when Russia fully withdraws? Is that it? And then so Russia withdraws and we say, okay, we're done, and Russia goes back in and we start sending money again? No end game. You cannot go into a situation with no plan of when we're getting out. Look at Afghanistan. 20 years we were in that place. The day we left was a disaster. The day after we left, things went right back to the way they were before we ever came into the joint 20 years before. This is what happens when you don't have a plan. We're going to help. All right, how long? Until they don't need us anymore. Well, when you tell countries that, guess what? They decide they always need you.
Broadcasting live from Trump Towers.
Wait a minute.
Now, hear this.
Got some good news for Donnie T. Bad news for El Presidente, Uncle Joey. Joey, baby. A new swing state poll from the New York Times and Siena is absolutely devastating for our dear old El Presidente. Apparently, there are multiple ways that Joe Biden is in trouble here, starting with the fact that the New York Times is reporting that Trump would win the election easily if it were held today. That's red flag number one. It must be really bad if they're like, dang, we can't swing this, we can't hide this. This is what was out on X. If the election were held today, former President Donald Trump would easily beat President Joe Biden with over 300 electoral votes, according to a new swing state poll from the New York Times and Siena College. So, check this out, the breakdown. 5 out of 6 swing states that Joe Biden won in 2020 show Trump winning well outside the margin of error. Nevada, Georgia, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Arizona all went for Biden in 2020. You know, some with a bit of a 3 a.m. bump. But now, after 3 years of Joe, they seem to have a little bit of voters' remorse. I talked to a lot of people that they fall into that category. The story says, discontent pulsates throughout the Times Siena poll, with a majority of voters saying Mr. Biden's policies have personally hurt them. Yep. Voters under 30 favor Mr. Biden by only a single percentage point. He's losing the young vote. His lead among Hispanic voters is down to single digits. He's losing the Hispanic vote. And his advantage in urban areas is half of Mr. Trump's edge in rural regions. He's losing the urban vote. And while women still favored Mr. Biden, men preferred Mr. Trump by twice as large a margin, 2-1 there. That's another way of saying it. Reversing the gender advantage that have fueled so many Democratic gains in recent years. Now, some of you may think that there's some 5D chess going on here, and the New York Times would never publish this unless they had some kind of motive. But trust me, they hate these results and are shocked to see it. And like I say, it must be bad if they were forced to go ahead and put this out there. So there you go. We'll see what happens. And look, I know we'll probably get a poll tomorrow that says Joe has already won the election, which who knows? Possibly. But for what it's worth, there you go. Swing states, that's the important get. And looks like, as of right now anyway, Trump has got them. Let's talk about the mob that stormed and vandalized the White House fence this weekend. Oh, you didn't hear about that? Why not? Yep, it's not happening in on major media. They're not covering it. Now, you know, I lived from 2016 to 2020 when literally anything anyone remotely affiliated with the old Trumpster did was considered a racist dog whistle. You remember that? I mean, if you picked your nose within 300 feet of a Trump rally, you'd get a 2,000-word essay in the New York Times explaining how it was actually a secret message to the KKK or something. But I'm confused with, why are we not talking about this? Secret Service attempted to take down Stop Attack on Gaza banner that's hanging outside the White House right now. Protesters put it back up. This was from November the 4th. They painted the fence. They were climbing the fence. Is that not an insurrection? Let me just pause right here to remind you that a man was just sentenced to 17 years in federal prison for shaking a fence at the Capitol. This bunch is climbing the fence at the White House. Are they going to get the same punishment? Yeah, you're probably right. The mob also defaced statues in D.C. and painted death to Israel on buildings. Well, they were peaceful. If CNN did cover it, these are mostly peaceful protests. Death to Israel! Pan the camera this way. Look the other way. There were reportedly swastikas in the crowd as well, along with plenty of genocidal chants against Jews. All right, so I'm confused. This mob vandalized White House property. They defaced buildings, chanted hate, and damaged historical monuments and other public places. So why is it only, places like The Blaze and Fox News and New York Post and the Jerusalem Post that seem to have stories about this? Huh. Odd, isn't it? Very, very odd. Stay tuned, I guess. We'll see what happens.
At Interstate Welding and Steel Supply, we strive for excellence in all of our products and services. From medical, food, and industrial gases, including propane, to steel, aluminum, and other metal materials, we have everything you need for your business or personal needs. Visit one of our 2 showrooms for welding equipment, truck and trailer supplies, power tools, and so much more. Our professional sales team will help you find exactly what you need. Call our Marble location at 888-613-8284 or our Blue Ridge store at 706-900-1000. Plus, you can always visit us online at interstatewelding.com.
This is the Morning Buzz.
Late Friday night, Indianapolis police say 34-year-old Ruba Amagatha intentionally drove her car into a building that she thought was a Jewish school as a terrorist act meant to hurt Jewish individuals due to the ongoing war between Israel and Hamas. One little problem there, Ruba. As it turns out, she actually crashed into a building owned by anti-Semitic hate group. Let's see. This is from Fox 59. According to a police report obtained by Fox 59 and CBS 4, police were called to the building around 11:30 Friday night to investigate a hate crime. Officers said Almagatha backed her car into the building while several adults and children were outside. She told officers she was watching news coverage of Israel and Hamas, the war, on television and decided to plan an attack on the building because she was offended by the Hebrew Israelite symbol in front of the building. Black Hebrew Israelites. That's the group. It's a group of African Americans who believe black people are the real Jews, apparently. I guess so. The group is also anti-Semitic, so anti-Semitic that the far left Anti-Defamation League and Southern Poverty Law Center both call them a hate group. So she took out her own team, apparently. Here's something that's even wilder. The Black Hebrew Israelite building belongs to an even more extreme branch called the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Man. Apparently, that's an extreme and anti-Semitic sect of Black Hebrew Israelites who believe that they are the only true BHI group because of ties to early organizations. So they can't even get along with themselves. She goes and tries to hurt Jews, hurts her own team, the anti-Jews. I don't know. Look, this is what you get when you just, everybody come on in. And she's watching the news. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go try to run over kids. Yeah, I'm going down to that Jew school, and I'm going to run over Jews and hurt them because of what's happening on the other side of the planet. Let me tell y'all something. We're not going to fix any of this. Evil has been loosed, and it's just running wild. If you don't believe me, just read stuff like that. Now, this story may hit close to home for some of you. NASCAR is accused of discrimination for diversity program aimed at hiring essentially anyone who isn't a white male. Now, NASCAR, a lot of people I talk to, they've stopped watching NASCAR because of, political things and wokeness, and also because it's gimmicky now. It's pretty much pro wrestling. So, it's from the New York Post. America First Legal, run by former Donald Trump advisor Stephen Miller, filed a petition Thursday asking the United States Equal Employment Opportunity Commission to investigate NASCAR and Rev Racing for illegal discrimination against white male Americans. Let's see here. America First Legal argues that NASCAR and Rev Racing's diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts, such as the Diversity Driver Development Program, the Diversity Pit Crew Development Program, and NASCAR Diversity Internship Program, violate Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which prohibits discrimination based on race and sex. Under the original language, the Diversity Driver Development Program's driver eligibility page limited admission to females or members of one or more of the following ethnic minority classifications: American Indian, Alaskan Native, or of Native Indigenous descent, Asian or Pacific Islander, Black or African American, Latino, or Hispanic, the petition says. Program for pit crews and internship programs also had similar language in it. So, NASCAR, now look, you may say, well, it's diversity. It should be minorities. They're trying to include grow the diversity, include the minorities. I get that, but here's the thing. It's already so hard to make it in NASCAR, whether driver, pit crew, whatever. And if your race or your sex is a strike against you, is that not doing the opposite? Isn't that racism or gender discrimination if you're going to play their game, right? So shouldn't it? Look, anytime, colleges, anybody, businesses, when you open yourself, we're going to have this diversity initiative. Well, what you have to realize is when you are only accepting people who are a certain color or certain gender, then you are then, by definition, excluding people who don't meet that. Imagine if it was, okay, this program is only for Hispanics. We are not accepting anybody. This job opening in the NFL, when a team is looking for a new coach, they have to interview so many minority candidates. They can't just say, "Oh, well, it's this guy," right? Because if we got to have diversity, but you can't exclude white people because you got to, people don't even, if they would just step back and look at these anti-racist things that they're trying to do are in turn racist. Again, anytime your requirement has anything to do with a specific race, it's racist. Pretty simple to me. Well, that's going to do it for hour number 2, but don't you fret, dear friends. We've still got a full hour on the way. Hour 3 consists of chaotic news from around the world, including the crazy news story of the day. And we'll continue with double shots of your favorite country music artist and the BK Concrete Connection Racing Report. Don't you go anywhere. I'll be right back.
Jackie Jones, Jackie Jones, Jackie Jones.
A better solution for basic vehicle service has come to the mountains. Quick Lane at Jackie Jones Ford Hayesville is your go-to place for routine auto maintenance for all vehicle makes and models. Get extraordinary service from expert technicians and take advantage of our low-price tire guarantee at Jackie Jones Ford Hayesville and jjfordhayesville.com.
Jackie Jones Ford.
You are listening to 389 Country Internet Radio.
This is the Morning Buzz.
Welcome back, Buzzers. Your buddy Trav here as we are now in the third and final hour of the Morning Buzz. Thanks so much for spending a little time with me. Coming up, we've got chaotic news from around the world. And it just never stops. It's a constant flow of chaos. Also, the crazy news story of the day coming up at the bottom of the hour. And, of course, double shot from your favorite country music artist. And we begin this hour with a little music to calm my nerves after hour 2. Now, this story coulda, woulda, shoulda been in political chaos. But I'll just be honest with you, I ran out of time. John Fetterman, who we all know is just great. I call him Shrek. He's had a stroke, but he's still in Washington because he was voted in because people are just that smart. He was holding a campaign rally. I think, well, maybe it wasn't a it was a campaign event to help his friend Sarah. Anyway, he was there, and he was confronted by a protester, a heckler, if you will, about his support for Israel. Now, here's what Fetterman replied to the guy. He said, "The joke's on you. I had a stroke. I can't fully understand what you're saying." You know, the one time I'll stand with this guy in his support for Israel, and he throws that in, hey, I don't even know what you're talking about. I can't even process what you're thinking or what you're saying because I've had a stroke and I can't really think. Now, I'm going to leave here and go vote on things that affect everybody in this country, but I've just admitted that I can't process what I'm hearing. Great job. This story is for you pet lovers out there. Well, cat lovers to be exact. Now, look, just because your dog rushes to greet you when you get home and your cat, you know, barely blinks, it doesn't really mean that old Fluffy doesn't have feelings about the matter. He's just a little more subtle about it. Science may be on the brink of decoding cat feelings through, as a new study documented, 276 distinct feline facial expressions, which some hope might lead to the development of an app that can read your cat's emotions. I predict there'll be a lot of "I could kill you if I wanted to." To collect data, researcher Lauren Scott of the University of Kansas Medical Center visited a cat cafe in L.A. for about a year and recorded footage of 53 cats. Now, that's one way for a crazy cat lady to get her fix, isn't it? By the way, a cat cafe, I'll pass on that one. Along with her colleague Brittany Florkowitz, it's never Smith, of Lyon College, the cat lady analyzed the animal's facial signals, including ear position, blinks, nose licks, and whisker and mouth movements. These findings show it is good to look at cats' ears, eyes, and whiskers to understand if they are feeling friendly. This is what Florkowitz Smith said. Their mouth provides a lot of information about whether a cat is likely. A cat fight is likely. Excuse me. I misquoted myself. People may think that cats' facial expressions are all about warning other cats and people off, but this shows just how social and tolerant pet cats can actually be. I didn't need this. Cat's got its ears pinned back. It's about to claw your hind end. Cats also have a common play face, which is categorized by a dropped jaw and drawn corners of the mouth. 45% of the facial movements were classified as friendly and 37% were classified as aggressive. The other 18%, well, we're really not sure. So there you go, cat lovers. Maybe they really do love you. They just don't show it.
This is the Morning Buzz.
Hey y'all, it's Elise from Rusty Walsh Chevrolet. It's football time and you know that's the best time to buy a car.
Whether it's a new truck, car, SUV, or certified pre-owned, we've got what you're looking for.
And all new vehicles come with our exclusive 7-year, 200,000-mile warranty.
Also, choose from Fords, Hondas, Toyotas, Nissans, Chevrolets, and more. Find new roads to RustyWallaceChevrolet.com.
Where Chevys cost less.
Time now for the crazy news story of the day. Today we head to Georgia, Cobb County, Georgia to be exact, where a woman who attended a World Series game at Truist Park has filed a lawsuit against the Atlanta Braves and World Series MVP George Soler. Channel 2 Action News obtained a copy of the suit filed in Cobb County on October 25th. The plaintiff said she attended Game 3 of the 2021 World Series with her husband and brother-in-law. During the fifth inning of the game, the woman said Soler tossed a ball into the stands that hit her directly in the eye. The ball was thrown with such speed and force that Mrs. Name Redacted had no time to react or avoid the impact of the ball, the suit said. In the lawsuit, the woman's attorneys allege that she suffered from multiple fractures and swelling to her eye that will require long-term medical care. She is seeking compensatory, there we go, I think I got it, damages. Y'all, Channel 2 Action News reached out to the Braves for a statement, and here's what the spokesperson said. We are aware of the recent lawsuit filed by Mr. and Mrs. Norris. I like how it was redacted earlier, but now it's here, against the Atlanta Braves and Soler. Mrs. Norris' injury was not due to any negligence on the part of Soler, the Braves, or anyone affiliated with our organization. We intend to answer and deny the claims and immediately move for the court to dismiss the case based on the legal precedent that has clearly and unwaveringly been set not only in Georgia but across the country. Now, the team website does have a warning under its security measures reminding fans to stay alert during the game. Yeah. First of all, I've seen players toss a ball into the stands, after the third out or a foul ball. He's not whizzing that thing, all right? Second, when you're at the game, you better be alert because those balls are coming in, off a bat over 100 miles an hour sometime. Quit looking at your phone. Pay attention to what is going on. This is somebody who is just out for money. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. And there's multiple reasons I think this. It doesn't say how much they're suing for, but, with a big organization, big company, there's, sometimes you can sue them for, I don't know, $80,000, and they'll be like, just pay it off just so it goes away. But if you sue for too much, they'll fight you. But this is somebody looking for money, and here's the big red flag here. This is from when the Atlanta Braves were in the World Series in 2021. Y'all, it's 2 years later, and they're just now filing? Come on. If this had really happened, you would have filed immediately, right? Why wait 2 years? And that is the crazy news story of the day. Oh! Yesterday, we talked about an otter, or two otters, that attacked a man. Today, the animal craze continues. A deer crashed into a lingerie store in Michigan and trashed the inside of the shop before finding its way back outside. Now, you may say, oh, this poor deer, he ran through glass. He couldn't tell that it was glass, and he was scared. I think he was just joining in on the riots. Curvaceous Lingerie in Lansing shared security camera footage on Facebook showing the buck crashing through the glass and running wild through the store, knocking over mannequins and displays in the process. Store's owner said the deer shattered multiple mirrors while standing across the floor, or while sliding across the floor. The deer eventually left through a door that was propped open. Store's owner said no one was injured during the deer's visit, but the store will temporarily be closed for cleanup and repairs. Now, I said he's involved with the riots, but I'm overlooking the obvious here. Maybe he was just there doing a little Christmas shopping for the wife. You never know. Visit Curvaceous. Now, we all know that times are tough, but did you know it's so bad for some people that they've resorted to stealing a toilet? Man. Now, it's not just your average toilet. 4 men were charged Monday after the theft of an 18-karat gold toilet from Blenheim Palace, the sprawling English country mansion where British wartime leader Winston Churchill was born. The toilet, valued at $5.95 million US, was an artwork titled America and intended as a pointed satire about excessive wealth by Italian conceptual artist Maurizio Catalan. It's never Smith. It was part of an art installation at the palace near the city of Oxford a few days before it vanished overnight in September of 2019. So, in order to show how the waste of America, he's put a gold toilet in that's worth over almost $6 million. That doesn't, and he's Italian. Anyway, the Crown Prosecution Service said Monday it has authorized criminal charges against 4 men, ages 35 to 39, over the theft. They are accused of burglary and conspiracy to transfer criminal property. Well, you know what this says about their future? It's in the toilet. And just like that, that's going to do it for the O'Travinator. Thank you for spending a little time with me, whether it be live or on demand. Day 2 of on demand being without music. I'm learning. Hopefully everything goes well. I do appreciate you spending time with me. Don't forget to keep a check on 389country.com throughout the day for news you can use Always new, always free. Stories already there and more on the way. And keep us on as we are the perfect soundtrack to your day. Josh David coming up at the top of the hour. Oh, looks like he's going to kick things off with a little Larry Fleet. That's right, I'm back where I'm supposed to be so I can see what Josh is up to. I'll be back with you bright and early tomorrow morning. Same bat time, same bat channel. We will do it all again with chaotic news from around the world, your crazy news story of the day, and, of course, political chaos. Until then, my friends, remember, wrestling's real, politicians are fake. Hope you guys have a great Tuesday. See ya!
You are listening to 389 Country Internet Radio.